we had Senator Tello on, and I believe it was Bill 178 or 148. Bill 148. And so this was kind of similar to what you guys had put in the spending plan, Madam Speaker, which was kind of directing funding to GCC and UOG to shore up a lot of these like scholarship programs. But Senator Tello wants to use the EITC money. Just wanted to get your thoughts on that.
It's a good idea, because I mean it's the same. It's a similar program as what we put into our American Rescue Plan fund plans. But so I agree with that type of use of the money, that we do need to boost up scholarships and stipends for people so that they can complete these programs in our very high demand fields. It's just the use of the EITC for me. I want to take that EITC money, and I'm working on a bill to put the EITC money to me where it belongs, and that is in the pool so that refunds can be paid and these EITC credits can be paid immediately. I don't want any more delays in this payment of the tax refunds, and I think that this is the perfect opportunity to remedy that. So you know how we wait every year for Section 30 to come in, and then we're often able to make that's when we're able to catch up with some of these tax refunds. Well, I don't want that to ever happen. Yeah, so I want to have that money in the bank when it comes in and available for refunds first. So I just feel like if we can get those refunds out to people, mostly these earned income tax credits are going to people who are working, and it's supposed to encourage them to continue working. So, but their salaries are quite low. So I think those are the people who need it the most to get these credits sooner, and the sooner the better. And if this money can also help us to pay the regular tax refunds, then I think that's also a great need that we should take care of first. But otherwise, the programs, of course, UOG, GCC, I absolutely support that. I've been trying to work on this by getting UOG and GCC to just, better align their programs. And so GCC, I think, has really done a good job. UOG, I think at the budget hearing, we learned that after bringing this up last year, that they still really have not realigned the money that we are giving them for scholarships, that they're putting it to not the priority scholarships that we have asked for. So I'm hoping that they're going to remedy that. If not, I'm hoping to put it in the budget bill or a separate bill that, this money now, we used to give them the discretion, but it looks like, we may have to dictate a little bit more of it because I don't agree with how it's been reprioritized.
Yeah, and I mean, and I did see some stats on that, Madam Speaker, but I was just wondering, is like, how far does this go back where they just weren't awarding a lot of these, like the Protect scholarships? Because the intent of it was to combat this kind of brain drain, right? Where you have, our people, they're going off to school, they're becoming, doctors, lawyers, professional, whatever, engineers, off island, and they're just staying there. And so the intent was to bring these people back home to contribute here at home, right?
Absolutely, that was the intent, and it actually works. And so, we've heard from Dean Margaret Hattori at the university that especially for their nursing scholarships, that absolutely this keeps them here. And if you can keep them here for a couple years working in the community, that they are more than likely to stay. That's what the statistics show. And so that's, of course, what we want. We want our nurses that we train to stay. We want doctors who get movement. We want more doctors. We still want specialists. We want all of them. And so we are willing to put the money in to help them get trained. And we just need to stick to those priorities. Yes. Teachers, same thing, right? We're still not getting enough teacher graduates, and we still have hundreds of vacancies, that need to be filled. So we want certified teachers. So we still have a great need. So it's just that the needs are still there. They haven't gone away. So I just think that those prior legislatures in their wisdom, when they put the money towards those programs, nursing, teaching, med school, that we should stick to that for now until we have seen, these positions being filled. Social workers, that's another one.
Well, I wanted to follow up on the RISE Act and the All Rise Act, and this.
Yeah, you did.
the statements from the governor just on Memorial Day regarding, well, I'm gonna wait for
Till July.
after July 16th, 17th to pay out the Rise Act until all of the final comments and everything else is submitted to the U.S. Treasury on their interim final rule. And I'm also going to follow the law, and which mandates that up to $30 million is going to be paid out for the Rise Act. This despite the fact that the All Rise has expanded to include, GovGuam retirees and GovGuam employees. It just seems like people are just going to have to continue to wait. They've been waiting. You wrote a letter to the governor saying, hey, let's go ahead and just at least get the checks ready so when the Rise Act gets here, we could just immediately push it out. What do you have to say? I mean, what is your reaction to the fact that,
I feel the same way as you, Sabrina, because the money's here and it's a shame. It's really just a shame that the money is sitting there in a bank and that we cannot get this out to the people who need it. And I think the legislature unanimously agreed that the people need it. You've heard enough from the people themselves. They need it. And the governor seems to say that they need it, but we're holding it. And honestly, I didn't see anything in the interim guidelines that prevents this or even hints that there's anything improper about paying this. In fact, I think of all the things that we've put on our list, this one's clear, right? This qualifies. This one can be paid even under the interim guidelines. And I can't imagine that the final guidelines are going to take that away. No, they're just going to finesse how different things are done. And especially probably, those questions that have arisen the most are regarding revenue, right? How much can we offset revenue? And so you saw that whole discussion. They want us to reduce GRTs. So we passed a bill to reduce GRTs, yet that might put us at risk of, these funds having to be repaid if we exceed this $7 million, right? So things like that, those I can debate, those we can debate. But this money that goes to people that we have recognized to be earning below $40,000, some of them have nothing, right? So some of them, I just think that I don't want that money to sit there. That's what I was afraid of, is that it's just going to be sitting there while we make another list. And
crazy.
I just think we don't even need a list for that. We can take care of that one item and be done. And then create whatever other programs, additional programs you want, create anything else, create a whole other list. We can go back and forth on anything else, but I just feel on that, we should not be doing it.
Because it's direct assistance. I mean, that's kind of like the point of ARPA funding is to provide direct assistance to people where they might be wishy-washy on the guidance would be these pipe dreams that the governor has about building a new hospital. That's something they have to check the guidelines on. Can you do it, right? But direct assistance, very clear that it can be done and it could have been done. I mean, CNMI, they didn't say, oh, we're going to wait until another month and a half.
Yes, see, especially in the face of that, it's, I don't know. I feel bad because this was passed since November, I think, right?
Yeah.
And we put 3 or 4 different funding sources in that bill so that that this didn't happen, so that they could have paid it then and then reimbursed themselves with this now. I don't know, but we put different funding sources because we thought the need was there, and I still believe with all my heart and everything we see, we're not blind that the need is still there.
I think the governor is blind to the need, though. I think she doesn't think there's a need. I don't, because if she did, this stuff would be paid. The checks would be printed. But obviously she thinks that people can afford to sit around for another month and a half. I mean, that's the reality of it.
I just think that's something we need to come together. And I was very hopeful that was going to happen. So I'm not giving up yet, Sabrina. I mean, waiting until the middle of July, that's egregious when the money is sitting there, right? That's fine.
I don't even know what to say anymore, Speaker. I don't know.
And 30 million, is that enough to include the expansion? I mean, And do we really need another law or an amendment? I mean, she's made it clear she could do what she wants with the 600 million.
Right. If the 30 million, we got this 30 million, I'm pretty sure we had hearings on this. We had a committee of the whole where the director of revenue tax was present. And, Senator Regine Lee, don't forget, was the sponsor of this bill.
Mm-hmm.
And when she came up with that number, I'm pretty sure it was absolutely based on estimates that we received from the Department of Revenue and Taxation. And she did not make that number up. There's no way. And so, yes, so if it was, fact back then that we needed 30 million at least to cover the people who we had named, then it must be fact that to cover more than those people, we will need more. I just expect that if she's saying she's not going to add any more money to the program, that doesn't matter. If she's going to establish a program and she's going to say these people will be paid, they will all be paid, because whether it comes from the 30, it comes from the ARP, or it comes from, GovCon coffers, then that's going to be her decision at that point. But it should be paid. She can't not pay them because there's not enough funds at that point, I think.
Are you still having your weekly meetings with the Gov?
We do a Zoom meeting every other week. She had asked to reduce it, saying things were less, I guess, emergent or hectic on the COVID side. So those were strictly COVID meetings. So it was me, the governor, and the head of the mayor's council, Jesse Ali.
Less emergent. I thought we were in a public health emergency.
Right. Well, yeah. A lot of the updates, I guess, I'm getting on the media. So I want to continue to thank you. I can't tell you enough how much the information that you have put out on your show has been very helpful for all of us.
Well, we're just doing our job. Just doing our job. That's it.
Yeah. Well, it's important, so, like we were in session and we get another a continuation of the public health emergency, right? And I still have questions that I would like answered. I think I just feel like this, I want to cooperate, of course. We want to help our frontliners as much as possible. But I just feel like the people of Guam deserve to know everything there is to know, and just to continue to know that, not have to fight to get that information. They shouldn't have to, resort to anything else. Really, it should be, that's what our government's here for. Whatever we're doing, we should be very transparent about it.
I just feel like haven't we been through enough? Do we really have to continue with this nonsense? Like, come on.
I keep hearing that, you guys want to cooperate, and we just had a couple senators on and said they want to cooperate, but I don't know. It seems like one-sided cooperation.
Well, sometimes I would like a lot more information. I would like it prior to, I would like it as soon as they know it. I just feel like we're being told things kind of sometimes after all is said and done. And so, I didn't want that to happen with these American Rescue Plan funds. I want it to be a collaboration where we are going to, you need to go back and forth because things change and we can make things better. So I don't think we need a perfect final plan, a politically soundproof plan, right? Or bulletproof plan. I'm hoping, that takes time to do that. So we can't, I just feel like let's start the dialogue, let's start the collaboration, let's get the facts. I really want the facts. So whatever those underlying facts are as to how we're going to put this, spend this money, that's what I want to know. So for example, we've set money aside, or we've, in our plan, we've spelled out that we want to put money, $30 million to public works. And this is to add on top of the money that they are getting from increase in fuel taxes, right? Unfortunately, we had to increase the fuel taxes in order to put any additional money towards roads. And I'm going to tell you, up to now, I've been in office for 4 years. That's still, I think, the number one complaint. People cannot believe the state of the roads. It hurts them, it bothers them, they feel unsafe, particularly Manamco. They bring this up to me a lot. And, you noticed it, the roads, some of them are not even lined. So they can't see the edges of the roads. It's very dangerous. Even me, the older I'm getting, the harder it is to see at night driving. And so I feel like, oh man, if I can't see, I can't imagine, anyone older than me, but it's,
Speaker, my mom doesn't go anywhere past 7 p.m.
Yeah.
Precisely
Yeah,
because
and
of what you're talking about.
I can absolutely relate to that. Yeah, because at night my vision's completely different, and the roads are really really bad. Like I can't see the lanes, you can't see the edges, right? And then we've got some roads that they're surface, and then they have these sharp edges. Like if you fall in that ditch, yeah, you're in trouble, right? And when it rains, it's even worse. So anyways, we all know the condition of the roads. That's a given, right? So I want to know, if we put the 30 million to Public Works, as we are suggesting, I want to hear from Public Works. How many miles of roads are they going to cover with that 30 million, right? If that only covers, one road in one village, then by all means, they should make that very, very clear. But we tried to calculate this based on, projections they had given us years ago. They're a little bit old, but so Public Works has a team that goes out to do parts of the road, and then they hire, they bring in, I think, Black Construction or Hawaiian Rock to lay the top, right? So there's parts of it that only that other company can do with Hawaiian Rock. And so you've seen that they just did this in Manila recently, but so it's like a tag team. You got to fix it, and then they come in and they final it, and they can do this as a team. And I want to know whether Public Works teams is still able to do this. How much more are they able to do compared to what they're doing now? Do we need an entirely new team? Is that what we're going to be funding with this money, or are we going to just be able to fund miles of roads, which is what I'm hoping, right? That this 30 million, we would just divide that by how much it costs per mile and get that done and get the striping done.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. We're at the top of the hour. But I just wanted to tell you before we let you go, I just received word from the CNMI governor's office that they will unveil their spending plan this Friday. And that the CNMI governor's office spokesman, Kevin Bautista, said, I just talked to our Secretary of Finance. We can spend the money as soon as we receive it. And they've already received it. So we're just providing that contrast, that context for, not just you, but our listeners as well.
Right. And we've received ours too. Right. And I want that to be very clear. Yeah, that we have received ours. It is here on Guam. Yeah. And, so that's what I mean. I mean, there are some of these programs that are just no-brainers. They are clear. I hope we all agree. And so that those are the things. And we can finesse the other ones, right, as we go along. But some of these, I think, should be done right away. So again, we're having that hearing on June 4th, 11 a.m. this Friday. You can tune in by Zoom. You can give testimony by Zoom. You can give testimony in person here at the legislature. I'm asking people to come down. We do not have a monopoly on the ideas. I would like to hear their input, whether they think roads are as important as I think they are, whether they think, extending water lines are as important as we have put them out to be in our plan, extending water lines into areas that do not have water, so we cannot build houses, right, without an exorbitant cost on top of every homeowner. And putting money, to take care of solid waste, putting money towards these GCC and UOG programs so that we can get people into these jobs that we have really needed for decades. Yeah, thank you.
Madam Speaker, send us the link for the public hearing Zoom, and we'll share it on the show on the 4th, which is Friday, right?
Yeah, wonderful. Great. Thanks. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. We'll see you. Guys, quick break, and we're coming back on KUAM TV next, right here on the link. Good morning.
We got your six.